Have you ever heard of a book that should never be read aloud? A book so ancient and powerful that every word written in it could pull something from beyond our world. Tonight I'll tell you a story that many claim is real about a mysterious book known only as the Enochian Grimoire, or as the locals in one small English town call it, the book that summons the dead. The story begins in Wiltshire, England in 1974. The small village of Ashcombe was home to less than 300 people. It was a quiet, secluded place, surrounded by fog-covered hills and ruins that dated all the way back to the 12th century. That year, an old manor on the edge of the village was bought by a man named Professor Alan Gavies, a retired linguist and historian who'd spent his entire life studying ancient and forgotten texts. But Reeves had one particular obsession: books that shouldn't exist. He collected forbidden manuscripts, occult parchments, and rumored grimoires said to hold the secrets of the dead. And there was one he'd been searching for since 1950, a text mentioned only in the Vatican. As most restricted archives, the Enochian Grimoire. Legend claimed the book was written in a language of angels and demons, a form of Enochian script so powerful it could call back lost souls. The original author was said to be Abbot Gregorius, a 14th century monk who vanished without a trace after claiming he'd spoken with the dead through scripture. Most historians dismissed the entire thing as a myth, until one day Professor Reeves received a letter. It came from a private bookseller in Prague. The seller claimed he had found a copy of an untranslated religious text written in what looked like human blood and bound in a strange, leathery skin. Without a moment's hesitation, Reeves flew there immediately. He bought the book, and he brought it home. When he opened it, he found 73 pages written in symbols and markings no one had ever seen before. He tried translating it but couldn't find a single reference in any language database on Earth. He worked day and night, consumed by the challenge. And then, one stormy night, something strange happened. Reeves' housekeeper Martha said she heard him speaking to someone in his study. His voice was low and it trembled. She assumed he was on the phone, until she realized he was speaking in another language. A language she had never heard. When she peeked through the crack in the study door, she saw the book lying open on his desk and the pages were glowing faintly. Reeves was sweating, repeating words that didn't sound human, and standing behind him, a shadow, tall, still watching. The next morning, Professor Reeves was gone. The study was cold and naturally, bone-chillingly cold. The windows had frosted over, but from the inside, the book sat open on the table, and beside it, Reeves' personal recorder was still running. When the police played the tape, they heard his voice chanting in that unknown language, and then, faintly, another voice distant, whispering back. Then came 3 distinct knocks, and then silence. The police searched every inch of the manor. There was no body, no sign of a struggle, just a single, blackened handprint on the wall, burned right into the plaster. After that, the book was confiscated and sent to the university archives for safekeeping, but the strange events didn't stop. Security guards started reporting the sound of footsteps in the library late at night. Even when the building was empty, books would fly from shelves by themselves. In one terrifying case, a librarian claimed she found pages from the Enochian Grimoire scattered all over the floor of it, though the book itself was locked securely in a glass display case. Each page she picked up was warm to the touch. 2 years later, in 1976, a group of students studying ancient languages decided to test the legend for themselves. They broke into the restricted archive at midnight. One of them, a student named Mark Linton, opened the book and began to read a passage aloud, trying to mimic the symbols from Reeves' notes. Within minutes, the room temperature plummeted, the lights flickered violently, and their recording picked up a voice deep and guttural that said, "You called me." The tape ends right there. The next morning, Mark was found unconscious, with what looked like hand-shaped bruises around his neck. He survived the ordeal, but he refused to ever speak a single word about what happened that night. He left school, disappeared, and years later was reportedly found in a mental institution, constantly mumbling the same cryptic phrase over and over, "It only answers when you mean it." Over the decades, the book changed hands many times, from private collectors to universities to museums, and every single time the same pattern followed: people hearing whispers, disembodied voices calling their names, seeing dark shadows and reflections, and feeling a lingering cold that no amount of heat could chase away. In 2003, a historian named Dr. William Hayes decided to test the myth scientifically. He locked himself in a secure lab with a book, surrounded by cameras and thermal sensors, determined to debunk the story once and for all. For the first 30 minutes, nothing happened. Then, suddenly, the sensors began detecting drastic temperature drops, 15 degrees, in a matter of seconds. On the recording, you can hear Hayes laugh nervously, saying, "Looks like the ghost's shy." That was the last sentence he ever spoke. The footage shows the pages of the book fluttering open, as if caught in a wind that wasn't there. Then, all the lights go out. For 6 full minutes, there is only darkness and silence. When the emergency lights finally flicker back on, Dr. Hayes is gone. In his place, burned into the floor, is the same mark seen on the wall of Reeves' house all those years ago, a charred handprint. Today, the book is said to be locked away in a deep underground vault in London, under the British Museum's restricted archives. Staff officially refused to comment on its existence. The case file is sealed, but a former guard who quit in 2017 told a journalist something chilling. Every year, on the anniversary of Reeves' disappearance, we hear it, a voice reading in the dark. It's always around midnight, and the glass that covers the book, it fogs up from the inside. Some say the Enochian Grimoire was never meant for humans to read. Others believe it's a gateway not to heaven or hell, but to some place in between life and death, where lost souls wander, just waiting to be heard. And maybe, when Professor Reeves read those words all those years ago, he didn't summon the dead, he joined them. So the next time you hear a whisper when you're alone or a faint knock with no source, remember this story, because if you listen closely, someone might be reading your name from the pages of that book. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next descent into the unknown. Stay safe out there.